Lights off, okay.
Mics are on.
Okay, okay. Okay, so lights off now.
Gina, we have no light.
Yeah, I thought light on meant we were recording and.
Good evening, everyone. This is the August 24th meeting of the Board of Adjustment of the City of Washington. Gina, or someone do a roll call, please?
I can do it. Gwen Montel,
Present.
Samantha Wacker,
Here.
Lori Struber,
Present.
Kevin Creedy, Mark Scornia,
Here.
Mark Piontek, Aaron Beckman.
Here.
Would you join me in a pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Did y'all have a chance to read the book of minutes?
I sure did, and
Yes.
motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so approved. Okay, we have file number 26-0805 at 325 Locust Street.
Just before we get started, I wanted to mention that the applicant for 41 Oxford Drive has vacated their request, so we will not be hearing their case tonight. But we will proceed with 325 Locust Street. So, good evening. This is a variance request for 325 Locust Street, just across from the school administration building there at the corner of 3rd and Locust. The property in question is an existing non-conforming structure. You can see here the red square on screen is the current building footprint, and then the blue dashed line here is the rear setback. So the building already goes through the rear setback. The proposal tonight is to shrink the front garage setback and to further shrink the rear setback to accommodate a new front entry garage and for an expansion onto the rear of the house. As you can see here, there are those setbacks depicted, the 25-foot front setback for the front garage. And this is, I should give a bit of context here. We don't typically have different front setbacks for garages, but since this is in our R2 overlay district, which is in much of the older parts of town where homes, either have alley-loaded garages or no garages at all, we have a different sort of setback as opposed to the standard 10-foot setback in this zoning district. And so, yeah, we have those two setback lines depicted on screen, and then the red squares here are the additions of the new building footprints. Some context for the area: there are a large number of nonconformities, dimensional nonconformities here. Here are just a few of them on screen here. And some context about the area: there have been several properties on this block of Locust Street that have been granted variances in the past. The property across, 320 Locust Street, and then earlier this year, 306 Locust Street, to reconstruct a garage there. That being said, some staff comments on this request. The property is existing non-conforming, as are most of the surrounding properties. Several variances have been granted. And just a separate note that staff is going to come back from this request is, given the volume of variance requests in the R2O overlay district, we are going to examine the rear setback here as we seem to keep getting variance requests for this issue. So we're going to address that separately with a zoning amendment. For this specific request, though, staff recommend denial of the resolution decision to vary the rear and front setback, and that is because the request does not meet the narrow set of criteria that the Board of Adjustment has towards variations. So I'll read this here, and we can go from there. So, where by exception of where by reason of exceptional narrowness, shallowness, or shape of a specific piece of property at the time of the original adoption of the regulations, or by reason of the exceptional topographical conditions or other extraordinary or exceptional situation or condition of a specific piece of property, which conditions are not generally prevalent in the neighborhood, the strict application of the area regulations of this chapter would result in peculiar and exceptional difficulties to or exceptional and undue hardship upon the owner of such property. The board is hereby empowered to authorize upon an appeal relating to such property a variation from such strict application so as to relieve such difficulties or hardships. So that being said, this request is going beyond the existing nonconformity there, and it has additional buildable footprint that can be worked within, and so staff and legal counsel feel that this request does not meet this narrow set of criteria. So with that, questions from the board?
So, excuse me, where would you, if you say that there's other buildable area on this lot, what is staff envisioning for the kind of project they're wanting to do?
Well, I mean, there's additional room from here to here towards the property line, or I guess, let's see. Yeah, so I guess you would be looking at
Anywhere that you wouldn't need a variance.
right here,
really.
and then you could use this area right here. Yes, I
That's
apologize.
already
There is a front
19.
setback.
Yeah.
But that's already
Yeah,
19.
that's gonna be pretty
I'm sorry?
narrow.
But that's already 19 from the street.
I mean, how would that be, how would building the garage on that side be any better than?
Well, I suppose you couldn't build the garage there. But you could build the garage because there is no structure. Here, let me pull up an aerial. There is no Whoa. There is no structure.
Yeah, that's not, it's
That's
the
not
next
it.
block down.
Ah,
It's-
yes, here we
yeah,
go.
there you go.
Yeah, so I mean, you could, in theory, let's see, 25. You still have room to start the garage, that far back, and then you have this buildable right here.
Okay,
So
You pull up Google Earth, you do it at Street View, there was a garage there.
at one point in time, yes.
yeah, in the past there was, because I remember this a long time ago, there was yeah.
Yeah, we can.
So
we
there's
can
going
look
to
at
be a
that.
tear off of the little addition that's on the back now?
Maybe
See,
Yeah,
there's the garage
would
there.
someone with the property or a representative like to speak to this?
yeah, I think we might want to hear about what
Come
the
on up and
project
introduce
exactly
yourself.
entails.
Hello, thank you all.
Hi,
And what
please
is your
introduce
name?
yourself.
My name is Ted Stahl. That's my wife, Rachel Stahl.
Hello.
We are the owners of 325 Locust Street.
Great.
And, well, where do you want me to begin?
Well,
There's-
tell us what you want to do. Explain your project to us, please.
Well, the first thing I would say is, we love being in downtown. We love the old houses, and we really, we walk most evenings. We want to stay here and live that lifestyle and be a part of how Washington's growing and developing. This house was built in 1895. We have one bathroom. There's not one on the main floor, which was okay when it was me and my wife. Now we have two kids. There are only two bedrooms now, 4 people. So the thing is, we're just kind of outgrowing the house. So what we want to do is where you can see that lower level window on the bump out spot, you would walk out, that would be kind of come a doorway. You could walk out to go to a bathroom and then walk into the garage. The garage is important to us because this house was built without closets. We were really low on storage, and because now that we have kids, our car's been just parked on the street twice. We'd like to be able to park off the street and have at least a little room for, riding tricycles and things like that. So there would be the garage, and on top of the garage, we would add another bedroom for me and my wife.
So it's a 2-story addition on that side?
Yes.
Okay. Then what is your project for the back side? Do they connect? Is it different? Is it?
The back, it just extends over a little bit. We have a deck, it doesn't quite go as far out as the deck currently goes, but just to have a reasonable sized bedroom there's a bathroom behind the bedroom, I should mention. It just has to go over a little bit, there's just not a lot of room. So I think it goes over like 7 feet.
Okay, so
As far as the deck currently goes.
so you're eliminating the deck and adding 2 stories to the back of the house, or no?
The deck will stay.
Okay.
It will shrink to meet the new 7-foot back of the house.
Yeah.
And then it'll kind of have like a screened-in, nice look to it too.
So it'll be like a screen porch with a bedroom and a bathroom on top of it? Is that what you're saying?
The porch will also be 2 levels.
Yeah.
So there'll be
Okay.
kind of 2 levels of the porch, and alongside it would be the overlap part of the new addition, which is primarily just the bathroom. So,
So is it 2 different things, or is it all a continuation of the garage? I mean, I'm just trying to understand what you're doing, or what you're
People
trying to
building
do.
plan-
Putting an
I was
L
gonna say,
shape on
pull
it,
Is
on the
that,
house, yeah.
that's what it looks like, but you could look at it differently, and,
yeah, I get, if you're standing on 4th Street and you're looking from the side, it would kind of have an L look, because the new garage would go a little further. But it won't look like an L actually, because that's where the kind of screened-in deck will be alongside. So the deck will have,
okay.
Yeah.
2 sides will be against the house, one against the new addition, one against the existing house, kind of nestled in there.
Okay, so you're adding a bedroom, a bathroom, and a garage, and a 2-story porch?
The porch is already there. They're actually going to be smaller, but
Okay,
Essentially,
shrink in the porch, bedroom, bathroom, and garage, like 2 bathroom up and down, or just the bathroom downstairs?
there'll be a bathroom downstairs in that sort of bump area we're going to bump
Right.
out where you can walk to. The bathroom will be on the back of the new addition. It'll be basically the 7-foot part that hangs over. Most of that will be.
Okay. Okay, so presumably you've worked with an architect on all of this. What other options did you consider?
We did consider doing it on the south side. It doesn't really tie, we have a tree there for one, and we don't want to get rid of that, and it doesn't really tie into the back of the house well. There's no way to, we could not find a good way to go from the garage to the house. And we could thought about, we could go through the basement. Me and her have been thinking about this for, my wife, I should say, for quite a long time. And it's limited space, there's not much to do. That window on the first floor is the most ideal spot to just add a bathroom right there and step into the garage. I think it's gonna look really nice. We've been working with Sarah and Andy Understall, who have also done work on our street. So I think there's kind of like a proof of concept. When we moved in, the street our house was run down, there was 2 other rundown houses, and they've been redeveloped. And it's been great. So I kind of feel like there's a little bit of the proof of concept there. Now we have young families living next door in both those houses. And I think what we're gonna do is really gonna make it actually look beautiful. That's why we chose Sarah and Andy. We just wanted to make sure it was. I get sort of the tight quarters, but, living downtown now for a little over 10 years, I don't think it feels that tight to us. We're used to it, but, everyone can have their opinion on that. I do think the beauty of it is gonna make up for it.
Do we know how wide that driveway next door is?
We can measure that off.
It's kind of wide, I'll tell you that. That's the other thing I was thinking when they
Yeah.
told me they weren't gonna recommend us, with the
Okay,
driveway,
this
probably
one right here.
Yes.
20 feet or so, I would guess. Oh, it's gotta be more than that. It's more than a free throw line, I can tell you that.
But that's the neighbors.
Right.
Yeah,
Do-
yeah.
Are you aware of any objection that they have to your project?
No one lives there.
All right, it's an Airbnb, I know that, but does the owner have an issue?
Never expressed anything to us.
Yeah, staff
They
staff
would have
didn't.
been notified.
Yeah, staff didn't hear any opposition to this request.
Okay,
So
so no
essentially-
one has
oh, sorry.
contacted you?
So this is essentially a 0 lot line on the side.
Yes, correct. R2 has 0 lot line for side setbacks, yes.
My nemesis.
Well, I would argue that, that because of the criteria of section 400.54, blah, 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 where by reason of exceptional narrowness, shallowness, or shape of a specific piece of property, they're stuck.
Sure.
I think we'll get this discussion on one of the later ones.
Yeah.
If it was a new construction, I'd have issues with it.
Right.
The problem here is you got a house that's already there. You gotta build around it. That's the exception, right?
Well, and if they're
even-
trying to save a tree as well, that certainly is very reasonable to me.
And there used to be a garage there.
Yeah, there was a
Bingo.
garage there.
That's me. You know,
Yeah.
if this would have happened, if this would have been reconstructed when the garage was there, it would be a slam dunk.
Right, because they would just be building onto that footprint of the
Bingo. And
garage.
so I feel some comfort in that.
The ones across the street, I know directly across the street, there used to be some type of a garage or shed there before they did that addition, wasn't there?
I believe so.
And then
Believe that's
down
right.
the street, the other one that we approved recently, there is a garage existing there, and they're
Yeah, and
gonna
I
rebuild
believe
the
they-
garage,
This is
so.
the kind of project you want going on in
Yes.
town.
Right,
You don't
Yes.
want a whole town of B and Bs because somebody can't fix up the house, have a
right.
nice bedroom.
I
right?
agree.
For rental, yeah.
Bingo.
Okay.
Okay.
Everybody ready to take a vote?
Well, we got to open
Unless
it up
there's anybody
to,
else that wants to
Anybody else
speak.
with crab wanna go?
Would anyone else like to speak to this?
Okay,
It's not us.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You all.
Aaron, will you read it?
absolutely.
Need a motion, y'all?
Oh, yeah, that'd probably be good.
I would move that we approve the variance.
A second.
Okay. Wanna
All
read
right.
it And we'll vote?
Yes. Whereas the board does find and determine that the property in question located at 325 Locust Street is within the city limits of the city of Washington and is located in an R2 two-family residence overlay zoning district, and whereas City Code Section 400-080F3 requires a 25-foot setback from the rear property line for properties in the R2O district, whereas City Code Section 400-080F1A requires front entry garages to have a 25-foot setback from the front property line for properties in the R2O district, whereas the applicant is requesting a variance from these requirements by proposing an 11.5-foot rear setback and an 18.5-foot front entry garage setback. Now therefore be it resolved that the request to vary the code to allow an 11.5 rear setback and an 18.5-foot front entry garage setback granted, provided that all other ordinances and regulations of the City of Washington are met. The city planner is hereby authorized to approve any submitted building plans as described in accordance with this resolution of decision. Roll call. Kevin Creedy.
Yes.
Gwen Montel.
Yes.
Mark Scornia.
Aye.
Samantha Wecker.
Yes.
Lori Struberg.
Yes.
All right. Ayes have it.
Congratulations.
Yep.
Best wishes.
I would like to make a comment on your previous statement about staff review. There's a reason that we have variances, and this is the reason to call something that's inconsistent into view. And to just say, hey, we want to, just because we've had a lot of requests for this, to just say we're going to do blanket and allow them, no.
Thank you. Thank you for your comment.
Okay.
All right. Moving on to, oh, sorry. I guess you should.
You got it.
Okay. I was just going to say you should introduce the next case, but we'll
Support that.
Okay. All right. So next item on the agenda is 1118 East 4th Street. This is a vacant lot here on 4th between Market and Walnut, I believe. This is the lot. Well, it currently is a vacant lot, and the applicant is proposing to build a residence on said lot. The lot is within the R3 multifamily zoning district. They are proposing a single family, and the specific variance request is for this red square here, which is a front entry way. And just some information about front entryways. We have a code section here that allows open, unenclosed, and uncovered porches to extend 10 feet within the front setback. provided that they are 2 feet from an adjacent lot line. Enclosed front porches shall not be greater than 40 square feet. The specific front entry is around 60 square feet, and so it is not permitted by code here. So just some comments on this specific request. The new enclosure will create an additional nonconformity that was not there. In addition to the variance, since, as I mentioned, this property is within a multifamily zoning district, the applicant will need a special use permit and able to build a single-family home in a multifamily zoning district. Many of the surrounding properties are both dimensional nonconformities, are within the setback, and are legal non-conforming uses, single-family in R3 zoning. And staff recommend denial of the resolution of decision to vary the front rear setback, as it does not meet the narrow criteria that we have mentioned, primarily for extending, creating a new non-conformity when there is no precedent to have a front entry to extend into the setback on that lot. So, any questions?
I would disagree that there's not other non-conformings. The two houses straight across the street, their sidewalk, their steps begin at the sidewalk.
Sure. For that lot specifically, though, there is no, there was nothing there that would, I mean,
It's an empty lot.
I understand there was at one point in time a structure there, that was a dimensional nonconformity, but that home was torn down, years ago. So,
I think this differs from the last discussion, that they're starting from scratch, right? There's not something there keeping them from building this within conformity.
So-
They would like to build it within,
So I guess has city staff heard any feedback on this request from any neighbors?
I got a few calls from neighbors just wondering what the request was about, but just kind of neutral comments. Nothing specific that would be
Okay.
relevant.
So no,
to mention.
no opposition?
No opposition.
Okay, so, okay, I guess it would be good to hear from the applicant.
Yes, applicant, come on up. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, my name's Stephen Caton. This is my family right back here.
Hi.
Hello?
Yeah, we are looking to build a new house there, and we've been working same as the last people through Andy Understall and Understall Construction, and we selected a home that's kind of a traditional two-story, looking a lot like that previous house that you were looking at, and the variance in question is just a front entryway, like a drop zone, so that we've got a place to kids to kick off shoes and stuff like that. Yeah.
So tell us more about, because the issue, it looks like you're proposing something that's 60 square feet and the rules are for 40 square feet. So what is there a reason that you can't work within the square footage that's allowed by the code?
Yeah, I believe, that the depth where that's permitted is 31 feet. And that's, as you see, most of the house right there. And then the part that sticks out outside that area is, I believe it's a 5x6 little entry room.
Well, it's it couldn't be 5 by 6. It has to be, okay.
Yeah, it's 9.5 by 6.
Yeah,
is
I
the
was gonna-
entry.
yeah.
I
That's
think
not-
5 by 6 would be
Yeah.
conforming.
Okay, so I guess some
So-
of that, okay, so part of that is a little room, and then part of it is stairs that extend down towards the
All right, I hate to argue this, but a 40 square foot would be 10 by 4, so we're talking 9 by something?
6, yeah.
6, yeah.
There's a little ambiguity in the code in the fact they jump from uncovered porch to vestibule, right?
I agree. I think there is some.
It's totally enclosed,
yeah.
in a totally enclosed room, whereas a covered
Sure.
porch obviously isn't, right? So,
So this is, okay. Oh,
Yeah, I believe
okay.
it's like, the intention is a small drop zone room in the front But as you can see on the plans, there needs to be a landing outside the door with stairs that go down.
Is it possible to shove the entire structure back?
I
I
don't
think
Or
you've
are
already,
you hitting the setbacks?
yeah, you're already,
Yeah, with another variance spot, yeah, potentially, but, yeah. Yeah, and it's, like I said, it's given us about 31 feet of depth.
Sure.
You know, which is about the same as the house we're moving out of, because it's too small for
Yeah.
our growing family, yeah.
Okay.
so are you going to have a driveway here?
We, not in the first plans, but, you know, just due to costs, we're starting here with this.
But there is a side entrance there, correct?
There is a
Yeah.
side entrance, yeah. Our lot's actually, you know, it's got that handle on it. There's not enough room for a driveway in the back there, but the previous house that was built there must have had a driveway off of 4th Street because it's still carved out of the gutters.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we can pull that up on Google Maps if the board is interested in seeing what the previous house looked like.
So, I mean, is there any reason that you couldn't shrink the vestibule down to meet the code? I mean, because for a variance, we have to find that there's some hardship related to this property. And that's where we have to be consistent as a board and determine that there's a hardship. So I guess I want to understand what is the hardship that would prevent you from shrinking your vestibule to meet the code?
I would say the hardship is fitting 3 bedrooms onto, you know, with the depth that we're allowed. The plans that we have drawn up has 3 modest bedrooms on the upstairs. And, you know, I feel like if we had to shrink it any further, then, you know, we wouldn't be able to get appropriate size rooms for our family.
Well, we're talking about the vestibule that's sticking off.
vestibule.
Right, because
Yeah.
that's what your issue is. I mean, it's your vestibule. I mean, that's the only, correct me if I'm wrong, I just want to make sure, but that's the only part that's the problem, right?
Yeah, I mean, the stairs, I mean, it's a combination of two things. The stairs also stick out, you know, further than allowed. So the first part of this is, you know, level or paved terrace may project into a front yard distance not exceeding 10 feet. This projection exceeds 10 feet. So you've got the vestibule sticking out 6 feet, and then the stairs sticking out an additional, I don't know, there's not a measurement on there, but I'd guess another 6 feet or so. Yeah.
How far is that step sticking out? I don't see that on there.
It's the stair, I see, so
Yeah,
the
let me see if I say in the
Stairs-
staff
The
report.
vestibule
Doesn't have a
is not that
measurement
big,
for
but
the
then we have the
stairs.
staircase.
Currently, the steps to the proposed entrance project 11.9 feet into the front yard setback. There we go.
Hi, I'm Sarah.
You can pull the
Sarah.
microphone down,
Yeah,
Sarah.
It's all right, pull it down.
So to speak
What's
to
your
this-
last name, Sarah?
Sarah Brock.
Okay,
Yeah.
you're the architect?
No, I'm his partner. So we're
Okay,
okay. Our family.
okay.
We're living there together.
Because everybody's talking about Sarah. that's
Oh
not-
yes,
okay.
there's 2 Sarahs. Sarah on a phone
Okay.
and I'm the other Sarah. Yeah, sorry. So to speak to the stairs, the reason that we had to bring the stairs out was because you have to have a drop zone. So that when we decided that we wanted to enclose that little spot, then the stairs had to be pushed out a little further. And we did consider putting that drop zone where that other door is off of, but I'm switching careers and looking for a remote position, so we also needed some place to put an office. And so that space where the other stairs are became our office, and then we needed a little drop zone there.
Okay, but I'm going to ask you the same question that I asked your partner. What specifically, though, is the hardship related to this piece of property that requires a variance? I mean, the fact that you know, I appreciate and respect
Yeah.
that you want an office and that you
Right.
want these things, but we have to find that there is some property-related hardship.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, we didn't know about the 40-foot rule before we came into this meeting. And so it had a porch there in the plans that we had built initially. And so we were just like, let's close that part in. And we hadn't looked at it the other way. But we did like, you know, just like the symmetry of the colonial and things of that nature. We like to keep to that historic piece, I think is what it comes down to.
Well, I think it's going to be a beautiful home, I'm sure, from what you're talking about. And piggybacking off of what Samantha's talking about with the hardship, Stephen, you mentioned a place to drop the kids' shoes and things like that. I respect that. I think that's a great thing. I wish I had that at my house, but I don't. And we made do with it. And, you know, I would like to see if you could put all this into that 40-foot, you know, requirement.
Yeah, shrink the house 2 feet this direction and then widen it out 2 feet in the other direction, you solve the problem.
You're good. You're actually gonna have more square feet.
Right. So I agree. I don't think there's a situation here where it can't be resolved, right?
I guess the hardship, if any, would be just like going through the process. We're currently in a 1-bedroom home right now that was built in 1850s, and you know, we have 2 kids, so we're all in one room upstairs. And we've been working on this project for what, 2 years, and you know, it's just like
So I'm
going
gonna
and doing it
cut you
all
off
again.
there because, just respectfully, you having a personal hardship is
Doesn't mean-
not,
yeah.
not what we can consider.
Sure.
We have to consider, it has to be a lot-related hardship.
Right,
Like
that makes sense.
basically, if the lot was creating a circumstance that caused you to need the variance.
Right.
Again, I've got 4 kids and not enough room for everybody, so 110% get what you're talking about in terms of the hardship area, but for purposes of what we're doing, hardship has a different definition.
Yeah, and those same hardships had to be proven with all the, you know, because we noticed quite a few other homes on our block that don't comply to their setbacks and stuff, and so they had to go through the same process as well.
Well, unless
I
they
think
were
they were built
non-conforming,
before
they might have been built before the code was changed.
created.
Yeah.
Because you're around a lot of older properties that are probably just non-conforming to the code at this point. And so that's, you know, the difference that we have with you, I mean, you're dealing with a vacant lot, so you have a blank canvas. And so I think the question that we have from here is, what is the hardship related to the lot that says you can't rework the blank canvas a little bit to comply with the code? That's what we're failing to understand.
But, you know, like my partner said, part of the blank canvas we don't have is, the blank check.
Oh,
About like
there's that.
like expanding the square footage like you suggested, and, we found this plan to be the most reasonable thing, not only financially for us, but to also be, considerate of the properties around us and the historic charm that's around us. And so this was the plan we chose, and, we thought, hey, it'd be nice to have a little 5-foot bump out on the front, so we're not stepping right into our living rooms. And we figured with how the surrounding properties are, not compliant as well, we thought that maybe it'd be a reasonable request.
I just wonder why. I understand new construction and I understand the need to follow code, but why is this code being applied to a neighborhood or to a lot that is surrounded by non-conforming?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It's beautiful, it's
Yeah.
historical, the charm of those porches right on top of the sidewalk. I just
Yeah, I'm not.
wonder,
I
I read in here something about, this was intended for the high density, and it mentioned a couple of the giant new apartment
Yeah.
complexes.
Well, I mean, that's absolutely correct. This lot is zoned the same as, a lot of our, large multifamily complexes that are along the highways here. I don't know the history about, why this stretch of town between Market and Locust is zoned multifamily. There are some multifamily properties within this stretch of R3, but by and large, these are single-family homes. So
Goes back to the taxpayers,
Yep.
where you rented out the upstairs to pay the taxes.
So are the two,
Don't laugh, that's the way it was.
but are the two houses across the street from this
Yeah.
zoned multifamily and used as multifamily? Because they sure do appear to be single-family homes.
yeah, I don't believe so. don't believe so.
Yeah.
Uh,
The shoe
the
factory
one-
was just down the street, and that was a way to pay. I'm not,
Right?
that's
Oh,
the
no,
way it
I-
was.
Yeah,
I
the,
agree with you,
Yeah,
yes.
the shoe
The-
factory's
Yeah,
right
that
down
makes
the
some
street,
sense.
And that was the way to get a renter, was to rent out the upstairs, and that's why they're two families.
the
Okay.
house that is
See,
directly.
okay, yeah, I knew about that for, most of the R2, and how with this shoe factory, these were built as duplexes. I was not aware that these homes were built as, triplexes and fourplexes and such, but thank you for that history. I appreciate that.
The house that's directly across the street, I know that that is being used as a single family, because I know the person who lives there.
Okay. So, okay. So,
I mean, that's,
Is there-
in my mind, that's a separate conversation to have
Is there
about,
anybody
our
else that
zoning
wants to
map
speak
and,
on
and
this?
and the way
Because I'm wondering-
this whole area is zoned and,
text not-
you know,
we table it and maybe have them
yeah, it's,
maybe advocate
it's
for
weird.
them.
We're stuck with the legalities.
That's what I'm wondering.
Could,
So-
would anyone else like to speak to this? Okay. Come on up and sorry, you have to introduce yourself again, but make your comment. Yep.
But just as someone who lives a block over and has seen.
This is Mr. Stahl again.
Seen some of the areas around there that would be nice to have improved, and some that haven't improved. I think it would look really nice, and the consistency of the decks, like you're talking about with the house across the street, and then the one next door is really close to the street, doesn't have a deck, but to make them start looking inconsistent again, I think that would be more harm
This
than
is a
that.
historic part of town.
Yeah,
Okay.
it would be more consistent, the way I understand their plan, it would be more consistent with the other houses, and I personally think that would
Yeah,
be better.
I
Someone
understand and-
wants that all the time.
Yes.
I understand, and personally, I don't have any
Right.
problem with it, but legally,
We have
can
code,
we?
right.
So-
I don't
Okay,
think
sounds
we
like
can.
the-
Thank
Sounds like
you
the
very much.
designers here maybe, or the
Ms.
architect.
Utterstall? Hello. Please introduce yourself.
I'm Sarah Unnerstall. I'm the architect for this plan. I don't know if it would help to see like what they are looking for
Yes,
to like
it would
do
help.
there. Can I show you? I have
Yes,
a picture
please.
kind of on, okay. So this is kind of the idea of that front porch to have like a bunch of windows and it's just the enclosure itself is gonna have a roof over
Sarah,
it,
if you want
not-
to,
Can we just pass
bring,
the?
Yeah, sorry.
Right.
Not the landing.
Sure.
Okay,
over
yeah,
the
that's pretty.
stairs.
Look like the house right over here,
Great.
or the building.
Yeah.
The porch fits
Okay.
in very well. I think.
Yes.
So is it possible to tweak, I mean, is this like just a form plan, or can this be tweaked a little bit to meet the code?
We could definitely try, but yeah, kind of like they said, I don't necessarily want to increase the size of the house itself to get the porch to be smaller, but I could definitely try and make the porch smaller. Or the sunroom, kind of like mudroom, smaller, but kind of discussing their finances and everything like that, like how much they want to spend. We didn't want to make the house too big to
Understood.
where it wouldn't be buildable for them.
Can they ask for the property to be rezoned?
they could,
Would that make any
They could.
difference, though? Would
Wait,
that,
yeah.
would that make any difference?
potentially, yeah. I don't know if there's, I mean, yeah, I would say, C3 would be the only thing that staff, well, I don't know,
That's-
yeah, I haven't really thought
Certainly
about it. I haven't really
downtown,
thought
that's
about it.
Yeah, that's a spot
Spot
zoning.
zoning,
Okay.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, would,
I mean, well, in terms of C3, it is next to some adjacent C3, and frankly, I don't know what exactly our future land use map says here and regarding this specific property, so I don't know what staff's recommendation would be.
so the property adjacent is C3?
Yeah, correct.
So I
I'll-
guess it
I'll pull
wouldn't
up the
necessarily
zoning
be
map.
spot zoning then?
Again,
I was just trying to think of where there would be C3 there,
So-
but that's another,
Right.
yeah,
and I don't want to belabor this.
sure. But the property next door, 416 Market, is C3.
Okay.
Because I think if legal was here, we'd ask him, can we vote
Yes.
them over, and he'd
I
say
know.
no.
Where's Mark?
Yeah,
Okay.
because I'm just not sure, I mean, maybe they do need to come and ask for C3.
Do we
And
need to
ask
vote on this
P&Z.
as is, and then,
I think we
Well,
do.
or do we?
could we table it?
I was just going to ask, can we table it? Yeah.
Oh, where's our legal representative?
I mean,
Exactly, yeah.
My opinion is to table it, because I mean, I mean, I don't want to put words in everybody's mouth, but I think we like what you want to do, and we want to be supportive of what you want to do. We want to try, the default should not be to issue a variance. A variance should be, a last resort, and it should be because there's a hardship related to the property. If the best and highest use of this property, though, is C3 zoning, maybe that's a better way to go. And if it's contiguous to C3 zoning, then that would solve the problem.
Just trying to think, we wouldn't run
Trying
into.
to
We're not gonna
work
run into
it for
trouble
you.
being R1 in a C3, are we?
I don't,
You're putting a residence in a C3, you can
Well,
always.
C3
There are
is
plenty of single-family
residential, too.
homes. There,
You always go better.
right, but C3 is the downtown overlay. I mean, that's not just, that's residential and commercial.
So I
So,
think he,
Saying is
Yeah,
you're putting a
he's-
single-family residential in it.
But I think you could.
I think you can, because you can always go a higher use.
Right.
Within a lower zoning.
I think so.
Stephen is asking the
That
time frame. When are you planning to start building?
We're open as soon as possible, like my partner said, we're a family of 4 in a 11-bedroom house right now. So, as soon as I can, and, then, as everybody knows, delays is money.
So, but it sounds, I mean, basically, if you're hearing us correctly, it sounds like probably the choices are rework your vestibule, or, maybe consider asking for the different zoning that would allow you to do what you want to do.
Meet some more with staff and see, what can be done, because, I'm not sure I can answer that here tonight
You go from-
directly.
You go from 6 foot deep to a 4 foot deep vestibule, or like I said, tweak the house a little this way and same square footage. Yep. You just pull that vestibule back 2 feet.
Because
you're
it
good
might
again,
be,
so.
it might be more cost-effective to ask for the zoning change versus to mess with your
Redraw the property.
plans.
Yep.
That might be more, might be more cost-effective. But I guess I would like to move to table this, because I don't want to deny it in case you come back to us with something different, or maybe some more research that indicates a hardship.
and I
but-
think it would also be pertinent to have our legal counsel here when we decide on this case.
I
So-
agree.
I'll second that
So-
motion.
There's a motion to table, a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you very much. I think that concludes our meeting for the night. Thank you all.
But we need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
All right, second, all opposed, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
What did I miss on the first one?
Good night. Good job.
Good. Same thing. Second.
Same thing, only different.
Yeah. These were all very similar. Hey, what happened? with the man
you guys were having a
damn
meeting.
sign-up?
I think they called it something different, is my thought.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm glad this got over with.
Anything else?
I'm glad this got over
Right. I was like, that's the exact sign we saw.
Yeah. Yes, she does.
Yeah, I signed into the, AV account.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Nice. I love it. I love these discussions, you guys. I do. I love the brains on this committee. I do.
Hi, Joe.
Yeah.
Not better now that I've seen you guys.
Dang, that was a Bill Solentrup. Just saying.
Maybe that's where I learned that
Oh,
from.
I don't know.
Might have been.
God bless you.
I heard that somewhere. How you doing?
Thanks, everybody.
Sorry I was late.